Hey guys, how to double, triple, 10 times your income? Well, some more thoughts about that is emotional control. I've been listening to some podcasts and videos and people speaking about the emotional control that you have to have. And man, that's so true. Look, man, life's hard. When you're trying to achieve something, you're trying to double, triple, 10x your income, it gets harder. And I know there's some people that say, man, this is easy. Well, if they say it's easy, they must have some pretty good emotional control. Because, man, anybody who did anything worth anything had to go through tremendous stress. I'm convinced of that. I'm not in the least convinced that they didn't. For the sheer fact that I haven't achieved superior greatness, and I've been under the damn gun continuously. Like, y'all don't even know who I am. I'm just sitting here, a guy in Louisiana, South Louisiana, moving and shaking. So long story short, if I'm going through this, anybody that has to deal with tremendous, has this greatness of like everybody knows who they are, had to have gone through this unsurmountable just pressure, this tension, this pressure. And as I go through mine, just dealing with it and like just keep on looking and say, man, is it gonna get better? Is it gonna get worse? Whatever. I try not to even think about things like that. I just keep calm and collective as much as I can. Do as much as I can. Exhaust every effort. Get up early. Work, and just let the chips fall as they may. And if I see success from something, that's great. If I don't, I look at it, man, what could I have done? And look, I get pushed in all kind of different directions because just, man, life comes in a cycle of just not easy, man. And I trick myself into thinking sometimes I want it easy, but it continues only to get harder. So having the emotional control, the state of mind of just like, man, I'm just not gonna let things get under my skin and overwhelm me. I'm just gonna keep moving, not let the evil one win today. That's all I can do, and that's all I can hope for, and that's all that is, I think, required of me. Like, I'm telling you, I've been in some bad situations. Still, currently in some bad situations that I have no idea what's going to happen. And I just keep moving, keep developing, keep being creative, keep being resourceful. And man, I tell you, at some point, being resourceful, something pans out, where like this big deal was not a big deal, and it was all in my mind. And there is some big deals that's a big deal, but it is typically all in your mind because there's people that's generally not looking to hurt you or harm you, and in business, it's all about just how cool can you keep while you go approach the edge and jump off, and then just knowing that there's a parachute. And parachute doesn't mean there's somebody come and save you. Parachute just means that if you keep on going, man, that you'll find something that'll keep you going and help you and don't mean you're not gonna hit the rocks, though. I'll tell you that much. That's why this mindset, of what you have to do as a person has to be developed strongly, because you can sit and complain about everything, all right? But if your mindset, if you have a non-emotional mindset, then you can look at problems as just problems. And I can look at problems as just problems. The problem is that other people that I have problems with, do they look at it like that, or do they look at it emotionally? And when they look at things emotionally, that makes it harder to work with somebody, because it's like, man, you're emotional about something that, like, if you would just take the emotion off of what's happening and realize it's not as bad as you think, you know. But that's the biggest challenge in business, is to take out that emotion on some of these problems. You know, like, dude, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to look at things your way and all that kind of stuff. But man, I'm telling you, I don't know if I would be able, if I was so wound up with emotions, I wouldn't be able to do what I got accomplished today. And what did I get accomplished today? A bunch of stuff on my checklist, a bunch of stuff that I'm hoping moves the needle. I think it will. But at the end of the day, I gotta go in, and right now there's just a bunch of clouds around how I'm doing or what I'm doing. You know, just a lot of work that needs to be done, but I'm just going cross off my list, not being emotional about it, and taking care of what I need to. And priority is moving the needle and working on income, and then everything else is after that. So, like, I've always known, and I've learned through having these type of experiences before on a lower level, that income and profit beats up any situation. If you're in a financial bind and you get $1 million today, well, a lot of people's circumstance, like, I ain't no longer in that financial bind. But at the end of the day, they may not be. So